I want to share with you 7 tips that will help you smash the next job interview that you have. My name is Craig Yeats. Thanks for stopping in on my YouTube video. If you haven't yet, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. So let's dive into it. What are the 7 tips that you can use to smash your next job interview? Here they are. My job is made up of spending a lot of time interviewing people. And I've seen some really good interviews and I've seen some really bad interviews. And the other day I had a really bad interview. So I thought what I need to do is share some tips of what I think you need to do for your next job interview so that you make sure you get that job. So let's start. I've got 7 points I want to cover today. The first step in smashing your next job interview is doing research. It's important that you go and research the company that you're interviewing for. So what I mean, go on the website of the company, find out who works there, what they do, who are the directors. I want you to spend some time on their social media pages. If they've got an Instagram page, a Facebook page, Twitter, find out as much information as you possibly can so that when you're sitting down inside that job interview, that you drop a couple of points and hints in there and here and there, all over the place of what you've seen on their social media. Why do you want to do that? You want the person that is interviewing you to think, whoa, this person has taken the time to actually go and research my company. At the end of the day, sitting in an interview is a lot like sales. You want to get the person to buy into you. How do you do that? You want to show that you've taken the time out of your day to actually find out what the company is all about. So research as much as possible. Research what you should be wearing for your job interview. I was once sitting on the Gautrain train on my way to an entrepreneurial meeting when the person sitting opposite me stopped me and said, "Sorry, do you mind if I ask you for some tips on interviews? Because I'm going to an interview now and you dressed really well, so I think you are successful." And I was a bit taken aback. And I said to him, well, that's interesting because I actually interview people all the time. So let me give you a couple of ideas. One is you need to make sure you dress correctly for that interview that you're going to. And this gentleman on the train opposite me was dressed really well. So I gave him a compliment on that. I said, that's great, because you want to interview and you want to dress for the interview and the job that you want, not the job that you currently have. So make sure that you dress well, because the second point is about first impressions. First impressions last. When it comes to a job interview, the person interviewing you is probably going to make up their mind whether they should employ you or not within the first few minutes. Maybe it's even the first few seconds. They then are going to spend the rest of the interview finding reasons to validate their actual decision of what they came up with in the first few minutes. So bear in mind, first impressions are important. Make sure when you're meeting the person interviewing you, you are using your manners that you learned growing up. You are shaking their hand, you are making eye contact, you're smiling. And very important, use the interviewer's name throughout the interview, but more so in the beginning. Thank them for their time. Tell them that you understand that they are busy, they've got a lot on the go, and you really appreciate the fact they're taking out the time out of their busy day to spend it with you to meet you. So make sure you are giving your appreciation for the time that they're taking. You're dressed correctly for the position that you're actually interviewing for. Also very important, make sure that you're arriving early. Much better to be early and wait for the person that's going to interview you than be running a second late. I hate it when I'm interviewing people and they're late for a job interview. Rather be early, rather wait. Make sure that you've taken time out in case there's traffic or any delays or getting into the building that might delay you, that you're a little bit late. Make sure you are on time. The third tip I can give you is that you need to start off your interview in a very positive manner. What I mean by that, people want to bring people into their business that are upbeat, that are enthusiastic, that are happy to be there. You don't want someone bringing down the energy inside of an office, so make sure you're positive. Very much more being a positive person than being a negative person will give you a greater chance of getting the job at the end of the day. Number 4, you want to be enthusiastic and you want to show empathy. Be enthusiastic enthusiastic. Make sure the person understands you actually want to have the job. I did another interview the other day where the person started giving me a hard time. I canceled the interview and I said, that's it, I don't actually want you in my business. I don't understand why some people go into job interviews and they almost think it's your right to have them in your company. You need to understand, going into a job interview, you need to do everything you possibly can to show why you need to be employed for that position. And you need to be enthusiastic about it, but you need to show that you're a human being, that you've got empathy for the person that you're talking to, the company, what it is they stand for, and what their mission is and what they are trying to create as a company. Tip number 5, you want to show success. What I mean by this, you don't want to be overly arrogant. No one likes arrogant people, but you want to show that you are actually successful, because if they employ you and you're a successful person, you're going to bring that success to the company, and that success is going to help the company become more successful over time. So don't shy away of your successes. Share your successes with the person that you're interviewing with, but don't be arrogant about it. Explain what you've done, what you've achieved, why you've achieved what you have, and how it will benefit the company because of your achievements. Tip number 6, be authentic. I so often sit in interviews and I ask questions to the person I'm interviewing, and they give me the answers they think I want to hear. I don't want to hear that. I want you to be authentic. Be who you are. The interviewer can very quickly sum up who you are by the way you answer the questions, and they can tell if you're not being honest. You need to be honest, because the person interviewing you at the end of the day is seeing, are you a match with their business? Are you a match with the job? Are you a match with the position that is on offer? Be authentic. Rather be authentic and not get the job than get the job and it's completely the wrong job for you. Be authentic, be open, be honest, be who you really are, so the match is correct and you're getting the job that really fits who you are as a person. Tip number 7, the last tip I have for you, is say thank you. Say thank you to the person interviewing you. Appreciate the time that they've taken out of their day to be with you. When you get home, send them a quick email to say, thank you for taking out the time. I really appreciate it. I really look forward to hearing from you again, and I would love to work at your organization. All of these 7 tips will help you get that position that you are after. Remember, being in an interview is the same as making a sale. What are you doing? You're selling yourself to the person interviewing you on why you should be employed at that company. So be polite, be well-mannered, be positive, be enthusiastic, be empathetic to the person that is interviewing you, and be respectful. Because at the end of the day, you want to show that you've done your research, that you know what you're talking about, you know the person that's actually interviewing you, what the business is about, what the position's about, and what the value is you can offer to the person that's busy interviewing you. I hope you've enjoyed these 7 tips on smashing your next job interview. I trust you're going to get that job if you listen to these 7 tips, because I know that if I'm interviewing someone and they follow these 7 tips, it's going to give them a much greater chance of me employing them than if they didn't do them. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe to my video. If you want to see more videos like this, please write it in the comment section below and share it with a friend. This is Craig Yeats. I'm out.